Okay, well, let's start with some introductions. So I'm Michelle Connolly, co-founder of 300 North and committee member for the IWFM Veterans in FM network. And I'm very happy to be joined by Mark Sutcliffe, CEO of Lawn Stewart Facilities Services and fellow member of the IWFM Veterans in FM network committee. Thanks for being here today, Mark.
Well, thank you for the invitation.
So I think it's probably worth setting the scene. Perhaps for those who don't know, the Veterans in FM network exists to attract, support and retain veterans, service leavers and their families in the workplace and facilities management sector. The network brings together individuals, employers and allies of the armed forces community to help create successful long-term careers in FM and really to show just how many paths there are into the facilities management industry, and hence why we're here today to record this Careers in FM interview. Just talking to our committee members demonstrates the diverse career journeys and transferable skills from military service to FM. So to start us off, Mark, can you briefly tell us about your time in the military, perhaps which service you were in and when you served and what your role involved?
Yeah, of course. I joined the Royal Navy in 1992. Seems like a long time ago because it is. And yeah, I served as what's called a warfare officer. So I worked on the bridge and in the operations room of various ships. So I served on aircraft carriers, frigates, and mine hunters. Had a very varied career, travelling around the world and visiting many countries. Yeah, and my role was really to navigate the ship primarily, but also in a war fighting situation to be in the operations room and carrying out duties there.
And what was your experience when you were leaving the forces, adjusting really to life on Civvy Street?
I had a pretty horrible journey, actually. I think I put 12 months' notice to leave in, and the Navy were really kind to me and sent me on deployment. So I came back to Portsmouth, and I had 3 weeks left in service to do any resettlement training, which didn't happen. It was taken up with things like medicals and paperwork, and I left the Navy not knowing what I was going to do. Back then, applying for jobs was responding to adverts in newspapers. I swore blind I was going to be a project manager, but I didn't know what that really meant because
Yeah.
that's what everybody did back then. You'd leave the military and be a project manager.
Mm.
I must have applied for hundreds and hundreds of jobs and got nowhere. I joined. I signed on and joined the ranks of the unemployed for a good few months, and then a military charity at the time called the Officers Association, which is now Forces Employment Charity, helped me out. Dusted off my CV. My CV was horrific, and they found me my first job in PFI. I went to be the operations manager on a PFI, one of the first PFIs, and that got me into the FM market. So I really just happened by luck. Didn't know about FM at the time, and FM was quite early in its days then. So yeah, it wasn't the best journey, but all in the past now, thankfully.
Yeah, and hopefully that experience has slightly changed since then.
Yes,
So
absolutely.
you've answered a bit about how you found your way into workplace and facilities
Yeah,
management, because that's often the case, isn't it? People
yeah,
find themselves there, and obviously being in a PFI, you were probably thrown straight in there. So what did
yes.
the journey look like initially?
My journey I started out as an operations manager on the PFI. So I worked for the general manager of the PFI, and it was a very operational role. It was actually in the police environment, so it was a little bit of FM and a little bit of police custody work
Mm,
across a number of sites in Sussex. So yeah, that was my lead into FM, I guess. I didn't understand at the time that actually PFI involved looking after buildings. It just seemed very different, and actually it was more the custodial side that attracted me originally. But I suddenly found out that we had to look after all of these six brand new buildings that we built,
mm,
and there were penalties if you didn't do certain things. And
mm.
suddenly I found the world of FM and commercial opening up in front of me.
And how did you feel about, or how did you find really the skills that you'd acquired in the military helped with that journey? Because obviously it's quite a shock to the system, isn't it? You know, you've had a
Yeah,
bit of
yeah.
a tricky transition period, then you're in a very operational role. Um, do you think the skills that you'd learn, help to move you forward into that position?
Yeah, completely. I think the military. I think you're constantly learning. You move between jobs every 2 and 3 years, which actually gives you a very interesting sort of mindset that you should change jobs every 2 or 3 years
Yeah.
in civic as well.
Mm,
And sometimes that's okay, sometimes not.
mm,
And yeah, the skills that we learn in terms of picking up new skills, but also teamwork, leadership, communication, all held me in a really good stead for a career in facilities management.
mm.
It seemed fairly natural, and I didn't know why anybody else didn't really do it back then. I
Yeah.
just this thing came and landed in front of me, and I took the opportunity, and yeah, never looked back really.
Yeah. So I think it's sometimes difficult for people to understand what FM is. We talk about the fact that it's not necessarily the thing that you come out of the military thinking about, or you come out of education about, but it's great for people to understand really the diversity of those careers. So, what sort of roles have you held in FM since that initial period, and how's your career developed over time to give people an idea really of the different sectors you can get involved in, the different types of careers and contracts and things like that.
Yeah, I think I was lucky in landing in PFI gave me that opportunity to sort of cover off all aspects of FM. So effectively, it was total FM from
Mm,
maintenance, security, cleaning, catering. So lucky in that respect. But yeah, the FM holds such a varied day to day. I think we all know, no day is the same, and that's very
mm,
much like military life. So I think there's a natural fit there. My
mm,
career really sort of just grew from I was operations manager for 2 years, then I became general manager, and then I decided to move companies and went to be an account director for a large FM company. I work for large FM companies. I've worked for smaller ones. I've done business development. I then decided that I was going to sort of disprove the concept that you're either a client or you're a service delivery. So I went to be a client for a couple of years to where I am now. So it's kind of every job has brought a different
mm.
set of skills and challenges that are needed. From sort of starting out as an operations manager back in 2001
Yeah.
to the present day, really. I think everyone, each job brings more responsibility.
Mm,
Sometimes there's a sideways move, and sometimes there's it might be a different role completely from moving from ops to BD.
mm,
Uh,
mm.
but yeah, that's the beauty of facilities management. It offers all of this under the word FM.
Yeah. And can you tell us a little bit more about Lawn Stewart and the types of contracts and work you're involved in as a business now, and what you enjoy most really about working in FM?
Yeah, I think. Yeah, sorry. Yeah, Lodge Stewart is we're a hard FM maintenance business with offices across England and Wales. We've got a team of about 250 people, and we offer mobile engineering as well as static engineering. So we're really hard services,
Mm,
um, and deliver those services to a number of sort of private and public sector clients. So I really enjoy it. I think it's definitely the highlight of the career to lead a team of people in a business
yeah.
and shape the future of that business. And I really enjoy that. It's back to that variation. No day is the
Mm,
same. One day it's a health and safety issue, one day it's a HR matter, the next day is commercial and operations. So it's um,
keeps you
sitting at
interested.
leading that team and keeps me busy. But
Yeah.
and set the strategy. Well, you feel like very much you own the strategy, and you're delivering something that's probably been the culmination of all the learning I guess I've
Mm,
had over the past 20 years.
yeah. Okay. And why would you why would you advocate for facilities and workplace as a good career choice for veterans and service leavers and the families as well?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. As you know, I'm very, very passionate about this, and I
Mm,
think there's so many different areas. I think I mentioned it before, the variation that's available. And that's what service leavers get in the military. Every day is different, and it definitely offers that. It's not routine at all because it's a mixture of doing planned work, and be it soft services or hard services, you're always doing planned work, but you're also reacting to issues, and that
mm,
reactive element I think is really important. That again, service leavers have got that sort of inset
mm,
mindset that fixing things when it's gone wrong, and
Yeah.
be it a hard FM issue and it's a flood or something breaks through to something completely different, but it's
Mm,
all affecting the buildings in which we work. So it's very good, a perfect fit for that as well. I think it's a people business as
mm,
well, and the military brings out the best in you in terms of managing people and leading people, and the two are very different. I think,
yeah.
management and leadership, but it also gives you the skill sets of how to get the very best out of people and working in a team as well.
Mm,
So
mm,
when you think that there are some real parallels between a military career and a career in FM, and back in the days, it was very much that my thing we should say is bogs and bins. That's pretty much what buildings were. That's what it was seen to be. But actually, the world of facility management moved so far forward in terms of how it's seen by
mm,
organisations, and it's we've got our own professional body,
yeah.
and there's so much training available, and it's just that natural progression, and you can progress, and hopefully you can follow my career and see that's the case.
Yeah.
That
Yeah.
yeah,
Absolutely.
you can. So it matches so well, I think, and that's really why
Mm,
I do what I do in terms of helping veterans to get roles in FM.
yeah. Um, and you talked about your challenges initially, Mark, that you faced in transitioning. Were there any others that you faced really as you've been developing your career as well?
Yeah, I think there's a few things. I think the life in the military is very very different,
Mm,
and to working in a civilian role. So when you ask people to do something in the military, it sort of gets done, and as we all know, sometimes in the civilian world it doesn't. And it's that it's that transition to understand people, and how people may behave and act differently. Not you expect certain things of people in the military, and that sometimes isn't the case. And it's just learning to just act differently. Yeah, I think my biggest challenge was actually just leaving, and finding a role, and just getting my CV.
mm,
My CV when I left the Navy, my CV was all about how I navigated a warship around the world, which has
mm,
got absolutely no relevance to any job other than navigating a warship around the world. So it was yeah, needed to be ripped up, and I needed that help to get me across the hurdle, and
yeah.
actually get me to think outside of project management, because I didn't really know what project management was either. So
Mm,
it
mm,
was lack of knowledge was one of the biggest things, I think, of what I could do, and having the ability to do it as well.
mm. So, what advice would you give to other service leavers looking to pursue a career in FM now?
Well, definitely to join the Veterans and FM LinkedIn network. Today, start off with, but there's so much research that you can do. I think it's about being focused and thinking about what you could do. As I talked about earlier, hard services, soft services, health and safety. There's back office functions. There's projects to be done. There's so much to think. So really, to not to bomb burst, and just really focus on the areas um, that the veteran might want to naturally, and their families, to sort of move towards. So
Mm,
somebody from an engineering background might want to go into hard services, may want to go into project management. So that first of all, think about that, and then think about things like: do you want to work for a service provider? Do you want to be a client side? Um, but really just to do the research, understand as our network is hopefully going to be becoming valuable to people, to get
mm,
some guidance. I'm always, I know you are as well, and others in the committee, delighted to give advice and mentoring, and take people on that journey.
yeah.
And to talk to the companies that you might want to work for. A lot of them will have the larger ones will have a forces network anyway,
Mm,
and you can research, obviously contact them, to find out a little bit more about the industry, and also, as you know, we're drafting a veterans document to show the pathways that are available. There are lots of companies out there, Amy, other companies are available, of course, but Amy have got a great transition scheme. So where they put veterans into a 5-day workshop effectively, and
mm,
then give them work experience. So, and I know CBRE do something similar. So there are some big companies out there doing some good things. There are smaller companies as well. So I think first thing is just to ask, and to network as well. Networking is invaluable. Some people find it a bit unusual to do networking, but it
yeah.
really, really is invaluable to get to know the people that we've helped on the committee. Have all
Mm,
been very good at networking, and reaching out, and we can point them in the right direction.
Mm. And I think people have been quite surprised, haven't they, actually, when, we've found when they've come to some of the networking events, actually, maybe you're not a natural networker, it's not something you're used to doing, but actually just being in that room with a lot of like-minded people is really helpful, having those conversations, using the network
Yeah,
of people that
yeah,
you've been in the military with, or people that have been in the military themselves and been in that position. So yeah. Um,
yeah, absolutely.
and Mark, what about where you feel the industry as a whole is heading next, and why it's an exciting career to get involved with as well?
I think it is a great industry, and I think it's going to get more exciting, and for the reason that we are struggling to get people, and that's one of the things the whole nation is facing in every industry.
Mm,
So, but we are a people industry. We AI will never replace many of the tasks that happen. There are some that will be automated and already have been automated, but we are a people business, and we need people to do the jobs and to do the work and to be in FM. So I can only see that continuing, and that's why I think there's a huge opportunity for service leavers and
mm,
families as well to come along and work in our industry. I think we've kind of overlooked as an industry the veterans, and that's why we're here. You and I are here, and the others on the team to raise that awareness in the industry as well.
yeah,
That veterans are a huge source of good, hard-working people who will do a great deal and a great job for their individual company. And we just need to open up the pathway to those companies as well to say, here's how you find your veterans, and that's really what our job on the committee is to do.
yeah.
Mm.
Okay, well, thank you for sharing your journey, Mark. I've been there's a few things I didn't actually know myself in there after knowing you
Yeah,
for a while, which is good and interesting to hear. And I'm sure people listening to this afterwards will, really appreciate hearing your own journey, but also, encourage people to get in touch with you and others on the committee that, as
yeah,
I've said, are happy to share journeys and help support. So yeah, thanks for
yeah,
your time.
yeah. And anybody who wants to link in with me and have a conversation, feel free to do so.
Okay, thanks, Mark. Good to talk to
Thank
you.
you. You
Cheers.
too.
Bye.
Bye.